Welcome to the Healers Café, conversations on health and healing with Manon Bolliger, a retired and deregistered naturopathic physician with 30 plus years of experience. Here you will discover engaging and informative conversations between experienced healers, covering all aspects of healing, the personal journey, the journey of the practitioner, and the amazing possibilities for our own body and spirit.
So welcome to the Healers Café. And today I have the honor to have an interview with Amy Kelly. She is the COO of Daily Clout, Dr. Naomi Wolf's tech company. And she's the program director of War Room, Daily Clout Pfizer Doc Analysis Project. You have tons of experience. She oversees approximately 3,250 volunteers who are reviewing, analyzing, and reporting on the court-ordered FDA-released Pfizer documents, those that were apparently going to be kept away from us for 75 years, as well as overseeing approximately 350 volunteer attorneys who are identifying legal actions to be taken based on findings from the Pfizer documents. I think I'm going to leave it at that. It's just such an honor to be able to speak with you and share with people the findings that this incredible team managed, by you are coming up with, because to say it's scary is an understatement. It when I first looked at the Pfizer documents, I thought, like, wait a minute here. They have protocols for pregnant women. We should, make sure to report it. And I thought, okay, this is fine. I shared that actually with my daughter. She goes, oh yeah, that's very normal, And then to find out what actually happened, which I'm going to let you speak about a little bit on that.
Yes.
It was very shocking. It's like several wake-up calls. Could this be really happening? I feel like we're not living in the same reality,
Yes, I do know. Yes, very much so. And thank you for having me on. I really appreciate you inviting me here.
So, so what drew you to focus on this type of research, and what compelled you? I mean, it's enormous work.
Yeah.
What made you feel like this is what I'm meant to do?
Well, so I am a mom, and how I initially got involved was that I signed up to volunteer for this project. And I had been watching everything happening with the along, and the pressuring by all different angles of people to get it. I was dealing with my teenage daughter who had all these people in her friend group that were getting, and I liked to immerse myself in research when there's something like that going on, so I can really understand what's going on. And so then I heard this call was put out for volunteers, and I went and signed up using their form. And when you sign up to volunteer, it asks you what your skill sets are, like doctor, nurse, attorney, all these other things. And none of those are mine. And so in the other section, I put project management and business process improvement, because that's what my background is in. And a day or two later, I got a call from the CRO of our company, Craig Klein, saying, what do you think about coming on and managing this project? And I was like, wow, I don't know. Not sure. It's a lot of people. It's huge. But I just felt almost like it was providential. And a door was opened for me to have that opportunity to be involved in that level. And I have felt this whole time like we're in a very big historical moment. in something where I hope to be on the right side of history and make a positive difference. And this gave me the opportunity. So that's how I got involved initially.
Wow. And how has it been? I mean, I've been following Naomi Wolf's, channel, saying all these things that are happening, and then obviously all the research that's coming out. How has it been for you to realize that it's not just that we've been lied to? It's really it's a crime to people, to unsuspecting people who are just trying to do the right thing, in that sense. You're told by the people that you respect in a society, so that could be your doctors, it could be your government, and go ahead and do this for the sake of others, right? Which now that we know that it doesn't even protect, it doesn't, none of the things that were sold to us were actually true. And that's one piece of it, but the harm that it's causing, how has that impacted, well, you personally, but the whole team of volunteers that are dealing with this?
I think it is a big motivator, because I tend to always say nobody likes to be lied to. And when they find out they're being lied to, they're like, I'm going to do whatever I can to get the truth out. And so I feel like the team of volunteers has been very motivated by that. But I mean, it is heartbreaking to realize that all these entities that you've in the past trusted and you thought, had your best interest in mind, it turns out not only did they not inform themselves maybe, but maybe had nefarious purposes in mind.
So Amy Kelly will be sharing a tool that you can use, which I think is very helpful if you are experiencing symptoms, or friends or family are, and you wanted to know if there's any commonality in those symptoms. But the rest of the interview will be on Rumble, so please check my channel there. The link will be below. Thank you.
Okay, here on the homepage of dailyclout.io, you can go to this red box on the right-hand side, click the link that says read the latest Pfizer reports, and it will take you to the latest Pfizer reports, and they're numbered. You can see there's 45, 44, so it goes in reverse number back to when we started. There are some gaps in there for ones that ended up not being published online, mainly because they didn't translate well into being put into WordPress, which is what we use on the back end, and the visualization was going to be really off. But almost all of our reports are available here. So yeah, and then if you're on any other page at some other point looking at other Pfizer information, you can click this Pfizer reports tab and it will take you back to the list.
Manon Bolliger here, and I want to thank you for taking actionable steps towards engaging your healing journey and helping others discover their path by watching, sharing, subscribing, and reviewing these podcasts. Every review and share helps spread the word, these different perspectives and choices and options for healing. And to thank you, I'd like to invite you to sign up to my free 7-sequence email tips on health and healing for everyday life. You can go to healerscafe.com/tips. Thanks so much. Yeah, this is such a great resource.
Yeah, there's all kinds of great information here. And I've just been amazed at the level of engagement and talent and passion from our volunteers, because all of these reports are written by volunteers of ours. I think I've written a couple that are in there, but other than that, they're all volunteers and really giving of themselves and want to get the word out about what's happening.
And all based on the actual documents, right? They're not,
That's right. They're
they're
cited too throughout each one.
yeah.
You'll see links throughout it, and it will take you to the original Pfizer documents, or sometimes there's other medical documents cited, but whatever it is, they'll be linked to, and you can go right to the source to see where it came from.
I just thought of something with this too. People, I'm sure you've come across them too, where they go, oh, no, it's not the vaccine. My vision's gone way down, but it's not the vaccine, or I'm getting these headaches. That's, I mean, they can really look it up and see whether they're alone in this, and
yes,
I think that also can dispel a bit this idea that they're now needing to search for another type of diagnosis. They don't need another diagnosis and more drugs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're not alone, and that what is happening to them is actually real is very validating, because a lot of times they'll go see a nurse or a doctor or something, and they'll be like, oh, that's all in your head, or you're having anxiety or something like that, and there really is a cause behind it. And people are always welcome to reach out to me directly as well if they have any particular inquiries. And we didn't talk about this during the interview, but something you may be interested in sharing with the people that get your newsletter or something like that, I can certainly help you with sometime. There's a couple of documents, they're called post-marketing documents that Pfizer has. And what post-marketing means in the clinical trial world is it's when they're looking at what's happening after a vaccine or a drug has been rolled out. So, for example, one document is a snapshot from, I believe it rolled out on December 11th, 2020 through February 28th, 2021. And it's all the adverse events that were happening and broken out by countries. And that the report where you were talking about with the 34 pregnant women, which that's part of that one. Also, the appendix of that particular document is 8 pages long, margin to margin, top to bottom, of adverse events. And I had my husband show me how to pull them out and put them into an Excel spreadsheet so I could count 1,290 adverse events they knew about by February 28th.
February 28th, 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
So about less than 3 months after the rollout. And then there's another adverse events document that went through March 13th, 2021 was the cutoff of that. And that document is, if you can believe it, it's 3,645 pages long. And it's just different trial participants with all of their adverse events that are happening to them listed. And it's really crazy to see what all is in there.
And how does that compare to the adverse events that are showing up in VAERS or the European one? There's consistency to all of that?
Yeah, I would say that what's coming up like in Yellow Card and VAERS is validating what was being seen in the trial, as well as adding additional information to it. For example, like that myocarditis search that didn't bring up tons of results. Now, if you go into any of those systems, or TGA in Australia, you see just myocarditis everywhere. So it's showing what they knew about just right after the trials, but didn't tell anybody, as well as all the other things we found out since then.
Yeah, but that alone, the fact that by then, by February, they knew so much, that alone should be, I mean, it is a crime. Even if they've legally found ways of, getting everyone else responsible, it's still not an acceptable thing. It's just unbelievable. Anyway.
Yes. So the Pfizer knew by that time, and then the FDA had received that document on April 1st, 2020. So they knew by April 1st, 2020, and everybody just remained silent, like nothing was happening. So Yeah, it's sad.
Well, that's where, it's evil. And there's, with the FDA and all that, there's obviously deep corruption. It feels
Yes.
like that is another element, and when we put together, these passports and this digital ID and all these control techniques that are coming, you realize that there's way more at play here than what they're, I think part of the so-called satanic cult or the cabal or whatever, they're supposed to tell you what they're doing.
Yes.
So, I'm just like, okay, let me look into this. And you go, oh, yes, here I've been told. But putting it together is so emotionally challenging. It pushes so many buttons because it's hard to believe that, like we said, that there's this much evil,
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, I just over the weekend watched the documentary Uninformed Consent.
Oh, I saw that. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And that for me, like, because I knew all this stuff was happening in different agencies and stuff, but it really tied together like how interwoven it all is, and that big pharma really is running everything, things you would never even think about they're running. So yes. Yeah, like I was telling you before this show, like I try to concentrate on shining light into the darkness, and whether that's like darkness of hatred or darkness of people being ignorant and not knowing, or just if I can get just a little pin of light in there, I feel better about things, and like I'm making a positive difference in the world, and that's all we can try to do.
Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you so much for spending this time and sharing your knowledge and the tools and how people can find out more, and also your heart.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I enjoyed it so much. It was really a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay. You have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you for joining us at the Healers Café with Manon Bolliger. Continue your healing journey by visiting thehealerscafe.com and her website, and discover how to listen to your body and reboot for optimal health.